850 WFTL.
From the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. The following.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Condo, Craze, and HOAs. We're here each Sunday at 11 a.m. on 850 WFTL in South Florida, and we are live on YouTube. It's our YouTube channel, Condo, Craze, and HOAs. Go there and subscribe and hit the bell and the whole 9 yards, and you can see Eric and myself, and also talk to us through the chat box. So I'm Karen Curtis, and I'm here again today with attorney Eric Glazer from Glazer & Sachs, PA. He's board certified by the Florida Bar in Condominium and Plan Development Law, and has a firm with attorneys in Fort Lauderdale and Orlando. And we'd love to get the phone lines going early or the YouTube chat box going early. So give us a call wherever you are in the state, in the country, in the world, in the universe. It's all toll free, 877-850-8585, 877-850-8585. Ooh, or visit us on the... Are you okay?
We're good.
Oh, my Lord. Visit us in the Condo, Craze, and HOA's channel on YouTube and ask your question there again in the chat box. Eric.
Yes, I'm back.
Yay!
Yeah, great to be back, everybody. And if you're a fan of the show, just like Karen said, don't forget to do two things. Number one, subscribe to the Condo, Craze, and HOA's channel on YouTube. You can watch the show live. You can ask questions in the chat box. And if you miss a show, you can watch any of our previously recorded show on YouTube. And, of course, join our email list, and you can do so by going to condocrazeandhoas.com. By joining each week, you can get emails about the show, our blog, our seminars, which are coming up. Wait until you guys hear about the month of October. It's crazy. You can get copies of our newsletters, updates on the law, and a lot more. Of course, we do a blog every single Monday morning. You can find that at hoa-condoblog.com. Tomorrow's topic, can your association prevent you from leasing your unit? Part 1, and you may be surprised to hear the answer. Boards are always surprised to hear this answer. So last week I was off, and I went to my high school reunion for Sheepshead Bay High School in Brooklyn. A little shout-out for the school, and it was really amazing, really one of the greatest nights of my life, I'll say this.
Really?
Yeah, the women held up better than the men. No
Really?
two ways about it. A lot of the women looked great, but almost all the guys, same look. They had bellies and were bald. Period. Bottom line. So to all the guys out there
You're
who
not
are
bald.
Not me. That's what I was going to say. You stole my line. So to all the guys out there
Sorry.
who are taller than me and let me know it, take
Yeah.
a look, guys. I got a full head of hair.
That's right,
All
baby.
right, so take that. Before we start, I also just want to say to everybody who's celebrating, I want to wish you a happy and healthy Rosh Hashanah and a sweet New Year, and then that starts tonight. About 23 people in my house. So, again, everybody, again, a happy and a healthy and a sweet New Year. As a matter of fact, since we're talking about gathering with the family, let's start off with a family story today, something personal. So my mom, who typically doesn't really care about much of these things, she asked me to attend her board meeting because the agenda that they posted says that is going to speak about the budget for 2023. And she knows I've been babbling a lot lately.
She's not sure about what.
Right. About how assessments are going to soar. She knows I've been talking about that.
Her building's more than 3 stories tall?
Yes, it is, 4.
Oh,
and she's
4.
on the 4th floor. And she wants to know if her community is set for troubles that I'm predicting. So I went to her community meeting.
Okay, so we're not going to name the community or the management company because the point here is not to embarrass anybody because
Exactly,
you're
right.
the big kahuna on this whole thing. The point is always, and it has been, that we all learn something each week.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to point them out, but this association, like so many, has 6 buildings. Each building has about 40 units, so you do the math. It's about 240 units in total. And each building has $59,000 in reserves. And they think that they're
That's
doing
good.
great. They think it's wonderful, right?
That might pay for one phase 1
They
thing.
have no idea, Karen. So the meeting is breezing along, and I'm thinking to myself that these poor senior citizens have really no idea what's coming. And a lot of time was spent on towing cars and feeding the ducks, and I couldn't help but think that they better refocus their priorities or the ducks are going to be living in the condo apartments while they're on the outside looking in.
Right.
I mean, really, that's how I thought it
Wait,
was.
they
crazy.
just don't get it.
No, absolutely not.
So, even though you're not their attorney for the community, did they let you talk?
Yeah, well, one woman on the board, she introduced me as a very famous attorney without giving my name. So they let me talk, and I introduced myself as F. Lee Bailey. So they let me go from that. It wasn't a big deal. You're right.
They probably didn't even know who F. Lee Bailey is.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, my God. So did they know about the new condo laws that were coming up?
Little background here. The buildings are like 27 years old. So
they're coming
30-year
up.
inspection, right around the corner. But they truly had no idea what was going on in terms of these new laws. They heard some rumor out there that, costs were going to go up in about a year or
Rumor.
two.
Oh, it's a rumor.
Right.
This is so irritating.
Right, but it was going to be totally manageable, nothing to worry about. That's what
Who
they heard.
told them? Who's the birdie?
I don't know who told them. I'm not going to blame anybody at this point, but I can just tell you what they weren't told, right? I mean, it's pretty scary.
It's going to be manageable. So did you break the bad news?
Yes. In a word, yes. I told them that in about 2 or 3 years, I had to lay this on them. 5, elderly women who were doing their best to volunteer on this board. But I had to tell them in about 2 or 3 years, they got to do a phase 1 study of each of their 4-story buildings by a licensed architect or engineer. They are going to look for signs of deterioration. And that cost is going to knock their $59,000 savings in about half.
Yeah.
And I then told them that they're going to have to do a phase 2 study, and that allows the phase 2 architect or engineer to do destructive testing, and that brings their savings account down to 0.
There you go.
They really
ding,
had
ding,
no
ding.
idea this was coming.
So they're not fully funded.
No. They have a reserve account.
They think
but
they are.
They think
Oh,
they
they
are.
see. I see.
They think they are.
I see. Okay. So what about all the work that phase 2 architect or engineer is going to require? They got to pay for that too.
Right. So I then
Did they
informed
understand
them,
that now?
Well, they do now. I then informed them, the phase 2 inspector is going to likely leave them with a laundry list of repairs to make, right? That's then unfortunately going to result in a special assessment or borrowing money from a bank over a long period of time. And you could see that panic was setting in as none of this was included for their budget for 2023. And then I told them it was going to get worse in 2 years when they got to do that structural integrity reserve study, also prepared by an architect or engineer. And it's no longer 3 categories, it's 10 categories, and the cost of this can be 5 figures per building. That's when they reached for their blood pressure medication,
But did you also tell them there's no repercussions if they don't do it?
No, I didn't tell them that, unless people rat you out, right?
Yeah.
But
this is a 55 and over building, then, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What happened when you told them that their reserves were no longer waived, that they can't waive them anymore?
I concluded with informing them that the reserves couldn't be waived and that each of these categories had to be completely fully funded going forward. And let's just say, shock and awe, right? Again,
was your mom proud of you, or was she afraid of you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
She knows I got her back, right?
Okay, good.
But
good.
Again, the cost for this engineer was not being reserved for either. In other words, they're being told they got money in the bank, everything looks good. They're not putting away a dollar for any of this stuff that's coming up, and they
because
really
nobody
have no
knows
idea.
about it,
No,
Eric.
They don't. It's scary. It's really, really scary, Karen.
No, they don't know about it.
Yeah.
And so what I understand, this is one of the more well-known communities.
Yep.
Run by one of the more well-known management companies, and they heard a rumor.
Yeah, exactly. And my thought was, if this community doesn't know what's going on and what's about to happen, then who the hell does, quite frankly?
Shouldn't it?
They should know.
Is the onus on the management companies getting the word out? Because not every one of them has a management company.
I know that management companies, they're prohibited from teaching the law as per an opinion by Florida Supreme Court. No. I know. Hold on. But since that's the case, management companies certainly have an obligation to ask the association's attorney to come out and teach the board the financial issues that are coming up so quickly.
Maybe it should be on the attorney then.
Their attorney should be doing it. Lots of attorneys should do it, and lots of
or the
attorneys
state should just send letters. The DBPR should be sending letters.
Doing nothing. They're doing nothing. But I'm just warning those management companies that don't get the word out. Rest assured that when the annual budget spikes dramatically in 1 year without proper advance notice from you guys, that management company, you're gone. You're fired. You guys are going to get the blame. So I would tell you, start informing your clients now.
Right. Soften the blow.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my gosh. I know that we're going to be discussing all these certification classes that are coming up. I mean, but should management companies be urging their board to get certified with an educational course just so they have a better understanding?
Can you imagine, Karen? Absolutely. Now, management companies, you should not, disgrace themselves by telling their board members to get certified by signing that stupid form that says, I read my governing documents. Because, by the way, reading your governing documents from cover to cover, that doesn't educate anyone on the new laws that are coming and the preparation that's required. Tell them they should get certified by taking an educational course. And if there was ever an important time to take this course, now is the time. I'll tell you, I certainly hated ruining the morning of those wonderful women who serve on my mom's board of directors, but someone has to do it, and management companies and association council better start ruining lots of mornings as well, instead of answering questions 2 years from now about why our budget has suddenly tripled and we no longer have a reserve account. So get on it now, guys. But like always, we want to know what our listeners think. Give us a call right here in the studio, 877-850-8585. Again, 877-850-8585. Or visit us on the Condo, Craze, and HOA.
Oh no, an unexpected leak. Jay, you know that's no way to solve a roof problem. Call Best Roofing. We solve roof problems.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
There are very large management companies, and there are very small management companies, and I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back-of-the-house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
Certified in Community Association Law. Lots going on, especially on the condo side of things. Yeah. If you have a question, give us a call, 877-850-8585, 877-850-8585.
Phones are off the hook. How about we go to Barry in Miami? Hey, Barry, how are you?
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Barry. What's
going on?
Hi,
Eric.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
Hey, Eric. Good. Eric, can you go over your excellent blog from a few weeks ago where you indicated that the new condo law doesn't really have enforcement capabilities on the part of the DBPR?
Yeah, Karen alluded to this as well. Okay, so you're going to live in a building where costs are going to spike, right? And then the reality is, who is watching to see if the building, well, your building official is going to be watching if you do your 30-year, your 40-year, right? We can agree on that. But other than that, who's watching to make sure that you are properly funding your reserve account? that you're properly reserving for the 10 categories instead of 3, that you're not waiving them because you're not allowed to do it anymore. Who is watching for that? And
do you think the legislature deliberately did that, Eric, to like appease you, but then to like make it okay?
It's some things are just not.
There's no teeth in it.
So what do we got? So we got a DBPR that we know every condo unit spends $4 per year per unit. It goes to the DBPR. I'm just using rough figures. It's like $13 million. About half of it gets spent. So how about we take that money that's not spent, right, and create, and what the blog suggested was, let's expand the division, and let's create a unit up there that makes sure that all the buildings that are 4 stories or more, they're already making you file documentation showing if you're a 4-story or more building. That's already required in the new year. Three-story or more building. So what's the harm, now that you have this information, what's the harm in taking that information and creating a unit that makes sure those buildings are, in fact, properly reserving under the statute for a rainy day, so that if and when they need repairs, the money is there? I mean, there's $6 million left over every single year, and instead of it going back to the condo owners, where does it go? It gets swept into the general revenue fund. Isn't this situation important enough now to take that $6 million and create a unit that's making sure that boards are doing what they're required to do? Hey, Barry, remember what they put in the statute. There's actually a line in the statute that says if the board members themselves do not follow these new laws, it's a breach of their fiduciary duty. They can be held personally liable for this.
So there is a repercussion.
I mean, it's amazing. Yet they take out the educational requirement to learn the law. So I think.
So you don't even know it that you're on the line for it.
I think right now we need to make sure that this is enforced, and I think really take that $6.5 million. Hire 20 people up there, whatever it may be. Make sure that the condos around the state that are 3 stories or more, that they're actually following the law. And if they're not, educate them on it. And if they're still not doing it after they've been educated, then hit them in the pocketbook where it hurts. Okay? But, Barry, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, there is language in this statute, the new condo reform law, that gives the DBPR the power to enforce compliance with the structural integrity reserve studies.
Right, okay.
That's already in the statute.
Right.
They don't have to do anything else other than get a group of people to get these structural integrity reserve studies. They don't have to amend the statute to do that.
Right.
They just have to amend the statute to say that you can't sweep this $4 a unit into their general trust fund. They need that language in the law.
But the way the current statute is drafted, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to require somebody that lives at the building to actually rat out the condominium. And a lot of people are going to be pretty happy if their board is ignoring the law. So I think what we're saying is let's just make sure.
Yeah, how are they going to know?
Right, how are they going to know? If nobody rats them out, nobody will ever know. So what Barry is suggesting is let's just have a unit that you have to report to. And you have to provide them proof that you're acting.
What does the DBPR do anyway? They don't do anything anyway, so why can't the existing people already take this over?
It's crazy. I know in New York there was always a rule with your city division. If your division gets a whole bunch of money, use it or lose it. So you make sure to spend every damn dollar of it. For some reason, that was never followed in Florida. So DBPR, use the damn money, create another division, expand. Make sure there's an enforcement section. Otherwise, the statute, to some extent, is meaningless. But, Barry, thank you so much for educating everybody on that this morning, like always.
Makes you wonder if they have an incentive not to use the money so that if
it's not used now, then, we shouldn't be paying it. Then cut it down to $2, and that's the end of it.
Thank you.
All right, how about we go to Gene in Broward? Gene. Good morning, Gene.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. How can we help?
Great. Happy Sunday to everybody.
Thank you. Same to you.
My call. I have a situation I wanted to run by you, get your opinion. So here it goes. I'm in a condominium. That the good news is we're only a 2-story condominium. So
okay, good for you.
Good.
Yeah.
But Okay, the situation is that we have each two units, the above, since we're two-story, we have the top unit and the bottom unit, right? And they share a common, I guess you'd call it a conduit for air conditioning.
Okay.
Pipes or drains, right? That's the way it's always been.
Right.
The situation that I have now is that the top unit owner in this scenario is doing some work on their AC unit, and they have to do some kind of new piping, which involves the bottom unit owners inside one of their walls.
Right.
And so both of the unit owners got together and decided that, the bottom unit owner didn't want this work being taking place. So they decided the top unit owner took the piping and put it up through the roof, over into the attic of an adjoining unit, and down the side of our building with a huge pipe, right? Well, huge, fairly long pipe, running now down the side of the building, which they've encased in a aluminum.
Sounds like a material alteration.
Karen, you're good, damn it.
Absolutely.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's unbelievable. And I'm trying to imagine, like, everyone else decides to do the same thing, what it's going to look like. But
yes,
so basically,
exactly.
I filed, yeah, right? I sent a letter to the board and the management company with exactly all of the references to the material violation, rules. And, and waiting to hear from their response. But I do know that the board and the management company approved it to be done, which is completely baffling that the management company, allowed this.
How many units are there in your association?
Yeah, there are 54, and we've got 6 buildings with, as I said before, it's 2-story buildings.
Right, but there's one association with 54 units?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you probably had to get somewhere in the neighborhood, 54 divided by 4 is what, 13? Something like a little more than 13?
Mm-hmm.
So you probably had to get 39 or 40 units to agree to what Karen said is clearly a material alteration of the common elements.
I don't think they took a vote.
No, the board had absolutely no authority to allow this. And
did the person on the first floor have the authority to say no?
Did the person? And that's another thing. They might not have had. And by the way, hold on. It might have been a responsibility of the association to begin with.
Ah.
Right? Right? It might have been. But to run pipes on the outside of the building, I can't imagine how that's not a material alteration. I understand it's a repair. But if there's another way to do it without putting pipes on the outside of the building, and I have to think there probably was.
And through the ceiling, what if
and
they
through
leak?
the ceiling into other condominium units potentially? Right.
Nightmare.
This is just a setup for disaster. So I can't imagine how, this just seems like it was done wrong on so many different levels. That
I know.
if I'm the owner and it suddenly went through my unit.
The management company was involved with approving this. I'm just flabbergasted.
See there.
What is going
but there's your thinking. The management company did not approve this because the management company can't approve this.
Right.
Right. So it's the board that approved it. The board might have listened to their management company, but the board approved it. No, I don't like this the way this one went down. And again, I think this is a material alteration.
Did they run it by their attorney?
Yeah, do we know that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I think it was just literally a conversation between the unit owner and the president of the board who went over, looked at it, and said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead and do it."
Yeah, totally wrong way to go. It needed a vote of the unit owners, as far as I'm concerned. Especially if you're putting pipes on the outside of the building. That's how I look at it. But Karen got the answer right. Starting next week, this will be called the Karen Curtis Show.
Stop it! I'm sorry.
That was great.
No, because you've taught me, or we've done this thing
Karen's
for forever,
wonderful.
never.
Thank you, Karen, making us look sharp.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call. How about we go to Joe in Boynton?
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
Nice, thank you. Simple question: HOA parking lot. Car parks in the parking lot. The coconut falls on the car and damages the vehicle. Financial responsibility.
Hysterical. My neighbor in my house knocks on my door yesterday, and I have a big giant palm tree in my backyard, and sure enough, a couple of coconuts fall, damage her roof.
No.
Who's responsible? I hope she's not listening. But who's responsible? My tree. I'm responsible.
Oh, it's your tree.
Absolutely, I'm responsible. So if the unit owner can prove, hey, look, the association knew that there's this coconut tree out there. The association knows that coconuts fall from the tree. The association knows how gravity works, right? So the bottom line is if the association didn't properly trim these trees and prevent the coconuts from falling, as far as I'm concerned, the association is going to be responsible for the damage to that car.
Yeah, I'm paying a monthly maintenance fee, so
trim the
I'm
trees,
paying for
make
the
sure
guy
this
to trim
don't
it.
happen.
Thank
you know, hey, it can fall on your head, and that's a much bigger lawsuit. You know, and these things happen, believe it or not. So make sure that they're trimmed. Absolutely. I'm sorry?
The association has the tree trimmed twice a year.
Well, that might not be that might not be enough. I don't know. You know, what's the
How fast does a coconut
right?
grow?
How fast does it grow? How many fall? I don't know. You know, and I don't know if she'd have to put an expert on. But you know, if it's a small claim, you know, I think it might be worth paying it rather than having the claim put in, your insurance going up. You know, it's a small damage to the car, you know, some dink of some kind. Fix it. That's my 2 cents. Okay?
Thank you.
Joe, thanks for the call. Let's do this. Let's take our bottom of the hour break. When we get back, we're going to talk about all the educational courses that are coming up. Okay? And of course, we'll take your calls. Yeah, Karen?
You're going to be on 60 Minutes coming up.
We didn't even talk about that. Yep. Lots to talk about when we get back. In the meantime, taking your calls, 877-850-8585, or join us in the Condo Craze and HOAs channel. On YouTube. We'll be back right after this.
Is your condominium or HOA in need of accounting services? Look no further. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is one of South Florida's largest accounting and auditing firms, as recognized by the South Florida Business Journal, and is one of the few accounting firms uniquely specialized to provide accounting services to their growing condominium and homeowner association clientele throughout Florida. With primary offices in Aventura and Boca Raton, satellite offices in Naples and Orlando, and a professional staff of 65, Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is prepared to meet the needs of any condominium or HOA in the state. The professionals at Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg also have experience working with timeshares, cooperatives, hotel condominiums, mixed-use buildings, and ancillary operations like restaurants, spas, and country clubs. Put their 25 years experience in your corner. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg, 305-937-0116. That's 305-937-0116 or grgcpa.com.
Someday, you will need insurance. And for that day, you'll be glad you wrote down Insurco Insurance and Financial Services. Why? Because Insurco virtually insures everything. They're a full-line insurance agency that'll put together the best possible coverage and premium for almost anything. Need homeowners or condo insurance? Call Insurco. Need auto or motorcycle insurance? Call Insurco. How about golf cart insurance or trailer and RV insurance? Just call Insurco for a free quote. They're open every day. From renters insurance, officers and directors insurance, and personal liability umbrellas to all types of business insurance, boat insurance, cancer policies, life, health, and annuities. All you need is Insurco. Get a free quote. They service Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Speak English and Spanish. Insurco Insurance and Financial Services. It's the only name you need. Office at 14401 West Sunrise Boulevard in Sunrise, inside Edmore Chevrolet.
Call 954-846-1206. 954-846-1206. That's 954-846-1206.
Need an insurance evaluation, audit, or quotation for your condo association or homeowners association? If so, then you need to speak with our insurance experts at Mac & Walt. For 800 associations, and we are the clear leader in this marketplace. Mac & Walt has been in business since 1989. We write insurance on billions of dollars of property values. We are an independent insurance agency representing insurance companies which specialize in condo and HOA insurance. The staff at Mac & Waltz works closely with board members and property managers and regularly attends association meetings to help educate the association about their insurance policies. To learn more about how Mac & Waltz can save you money and improve your insurance program, call now 954-640-6225 and ask for Greg Waltz. 954-640-6225. Mac & Waltz Insurance Group. Let us protect your association. Welcome back to these. I'm Karen Curtis with attorney Eric Glazer. He specializes in community association law, and we are taking your questions. Give us a call in the studio, 877-850-8585, 877-850-8585. But first,
we got to talk about our educational courses and the ability to get certified by taking a course. And I'm going to go over the locations that I'm teaching at this month. And I got to tell you, as we said before, it is more imperative than ever to attend an educational class this year. And, at least as far as condo goes, if you don't learn the new laws and you don't apply the new laws while you're serving on your condo board, you can actually face personal liability. And I got to tell you, Karen, especially now, any board member who can't take a few hours out to come learn something this year,
right.
you
It's
don't
free.
deserve a single vote. Like you said, it's free. Lunch is served, so what do you say? Here we go. Please register for any of the following free Condo, Craze, and HOAs board certification classes. They're offered all around the state. October is going to be wild, and it's all going to be at the L&L Condo and HOA exhibitions. Again, all around the states. Those are the ones where 100 vendors show up. They get to meet with all of you regarding all the services they can offer your communities. Like you said, lunch is served. There's seminars all over the place. We always kick off the event at 9 o'clock in the morning. We used to have the honor and privilege of starting it off. You can register for any of these courses by going to condocrazeandhoas.com. Again, condocrazeandhoas.com. Here we go. October 4th, right in a week, 9 o'clock in the morning, we start off at the Palm Beach County Convention Center. The following week, October 11th, Broward County at the Signature Grand. The very next day, somehow I got to get to Bradenton to teach the following morning.
Well, you'll be on 595. Just take this Sawgrass or
Just
the
keep
Alligator
going,
Alley.
right, and keep going up. 12th at the Bradenton Convention Center. 5 days later, we are in Orlando at the Orange County Convention Center on October 17th. 10 days later, on October 27th, at the Tampa Convention Center. So we are literally all over the state. No reason that so many of you out there can't get certified. We've certified about 22,000 of you.
You actually have people that come back and do another one because you teach different things all the time.
Karen, you have no idea how many people are going to be back this year because they understand the importance of learning it this year. So again, just to register for any of these classes, go to condocrazeandhoas.com, and I look forward, as you know, I truly look forward to teaching so many of you throughout the month of October.
But I know you're shy, but you have to tell everyone when you may or may not be on 60 Minutes.
Totally forgot. Okay, so I got the news, I think Friday I got the news, saying that our 60 Minutes show is going to be on probably by the second Sunday in October. So what does that mean? That's 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
So I would say at worst 3 weeks from today. But
it's all edited. They already previewed it once. They're making some changes.
Some changes, going through it twice.
And then they're going to take video at one of your seminars.
Well,
you know
no,
which
they
one
actually. They
Oh.
actually were supplied video on hand from
Got
Robert.
it.
From
Okay.
Robert Listman,
He
yes.
had it. Okay,
right,
perfect.
He got it. So.
Oh, so it's all good.
It's all good, and don't know exactly how it's going to come out, but we will be on 60 Minutes, and basically the gist of the show. What is it about? Can Grandma and Grandpa still move to Florida and live in a 3-story or more condo if their sole income is Social Security?
On the beach.
And I think we know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Going forward, it's simply not going to be possible. Florida is changing. Florida's definitely changing with these new laws, and that's.
Do you think it's going to be a hit job on Florida?
Don't know, but I just hope it's accurate and true. That's all I can ask for, right? It's not going to be easy, like I said many times. Hey, guess what, Florida? Your bill is due.
Wake up.
And I think that's what this show is going to be all about.
Well,
Florida's
that's actually good, Eric, because people need to wake up.
Absolutely. You can't just build buildings
like your mom's
and not have safety and have buildings fall. You can never
your
have
mom's
another
own community. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have. Listen, and you know what's sad about, and I'm saying this with all due respect to the 55 and over communities, if they were allowed to waive reserves for another 40 years,
they would
do it again. And not just 55 and over communities, other communities as well. And then when the whole damn building is about to fall, right? Can you imagine, again, up until now, a building could be built in Palm Beach County and North and never, ever require seeing a building official. Think about that.
Yep, before the
and
legislation.
waive reserves. I mean, just think about how insane the law was up until now. So I'm glad. I think the Florida legislature did a very tough thing, but did the very right thing. and let's see how 60 Minutes reports it. I think it's going to make Florida look like a tough sale right now. But guess what? I'm hoping that this particular segment doesn't just apply to Florida, not by a long shot. This applies to every state in the country.
Sure.
Every state in the country should follow Florida's lead, and I'm proud
especially
we were
if they're
kind of the
not
first to go this far.
landlocked.
Exactly. We were the first to actually go this far, and the bottom line is I think every state's going to have to go this far. I'm pretty proud of the way the state handled it. Let's go back to the phones. How about we go to Steve in Palm Beach? How are you, Steve?
Hey, I'm good, Eric. How are you?
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. What's going on?
Quick question in budget preparations. We're doing one now for adoption in 2022 for 2023.
Right.
In 2023, at the November meeting where we vote on it, can they still waive the reserves?
Yes.
Since January 1, 2024?
Correct. You can waive reserves up until January 1st, 2025. Okay? Starting January 1st, 2025, when your budget goes into effect, that budget's going to have 10 categories in there now. But up until that time, yes, you can waive. And even on January 1st, 2025, if you're less than 3 stories, you can waive as well. Okay, the only ones this is hitting, remember, are the condos that are 3 stories or more. 2 stories or less, townhomes, you can continue to waive reserves. So I hope that answers your question. Okay?
Oh, it certainly does, and it probably gives a couple of our homeowners a sigh of relief.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. No two ways about it.
And, hey, I do appreciate, what is it, a week or two ago, where you had that moment of silence for 9/11.
Hey.
As a firefighter, I was participating in that horrible day.
You were. Okay.
And that's greatly appreciated.
No, listen, it's the least I can do, and I hope you're okay from it. You're not suffering any after effects of being there, and all I can do is thank you for being there and for doing all you could.
That I appreciate, and all is good so far.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Thank you so much for listening.
Smile. Bye.
You got it.
Bye.
All right, another Stephen in Coral Springs. Good
Hey,
morning,
good
Stephen.
morning, Eric. My name is Stephen. I'm in Coral Springs. I have a townhouse, and on the outside of my townhouse, on either side of my garage, I have 2 plants. Last year.
You have what? I'm sorry?
Yeah, you broke up. You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
what?
So I'm sorry. What do you have on the side of your house?
2 plants in front of my garage.
Okay.
Dead plants.
Dead plants.
Last year, dead. They're dead. Not my fault. So last year, 2021, I received a letter from my management company saying, you have to replace these plants. They're your fault. You killed them. And I just ignored the letter. 30 days later, I get another one saying, now we're threatening you with legal action if you don't replace them. So I had to call the management company and said, I didn't kill them. Where's your proof? And they said, we don't have proof.
Right.
Your pressure washing company pressure washed your roof and the bleach killed the plants. Luckily, my pressure washing company took a before and after picture, and the plants were dead.
Oh.
My proof.
Okay.
I didn't kill the plants.
Right.
He goes, okay, we're going to now remove the violation from your property. So it's a year later. The plants have not been replaced by the HOA, so I wrote them a certified letter 2 months ago saying, hey, what's going on? It's been a year. So they wrote me back saying, well, the board has decided we're going to wait to see if the plants come back to life.
Oh, God.
So I saw the president 2 months ago, and he says, well, yeah, we're going to wait to see if they come back to life. I said,
Some of the
"Wait a
board
minute,
members look like they need to come back to life, I'm sure, right? Yeah.
They threatened me with legal action, but now they have all the time in the world to replace the plants.
No, I
so
think.
what do I do?
It's probably time for an attorney's letter. It's a ridiculous story. They have an obligation to if the documents require them to maintain the landscaping in front of your home, they're obviously in breach of that contract.
How big are these plants? I mean, what are they? Are they like massive bushes?
Small little bushes, maybe 3 feet tall. They have to.
That's like
trim them with
$80.
Yeah, and Karen raises a good point. As a practical matter, I'm just talking to you practically. If it's something that you can solve for a few bucks, something that's under $100 or say, just put the damn thing in yourself, because if you're going to hire an attorney to write letters and stuff, it's going to be more than what you're fighting about. No, once you bring an attorney in, it changes everything.
I have attorneys that are friends of mine. I'm in the real estate business. I'll have someone write me a letter as a favor.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, if you can do
Eric,
that,
thank you
do
very
it.
much.
Threaten
I
it.
listen to you every weekend.
You got it. You're threatening breach of contract. Okay.
Got it.
You got it, Steve.
Breach
Be
of
well.
contract,
Let's do this. Let's take our final break of the hour. Taking your calls, 877-850-8585. And, of course, you want to write your questions in on the chat box on YouTube. Just look us up, Condo Craze and HOAs, on the YouTube channel. Which we'll go to right after this. We'll be back right after this.
Is your home or condo looking old, worn out, and in need of a fresh look? Then you need PD Painting to paint your property and make it look like new again. PD Painting will first properly prepare your home and condo and then use only the highest quality paint products. After many years in the painting industry, PD Painting has achieved a reputation for always delivering a reliable and professional finish. PD Painting is fully licensed and insured and offers a 7 to 10-year warranty. Their technicians are expert craftsmen. Let PD Painting handle all the details and then sit back and watch them restore your property and bring back that brand new look and feel. Need a service call? PD Painting will be there on the spot. Need financing? PD Painting can offer that too. Call PD Painting at 888-416-3204. Again, that's 888-416-3204. Go to the website pdpaintinginc.com. Need painting done in your home and community? Contact the experts at PD Painting.
This message is for anyone who has taken on the important responsibility of becoming an officer or director in a homeowner or condominium association. It is also for the management companies who work closely with these caring people to make sure things are done the right way. Hello, I'm Gil Pomar, South Florida Regional President for Center State Bank, now the second largest bank based in Florida. Our bank, Center State Bank, has an amazing team of professionals who are exclusively dedicated to the homeowner and condo association market. Your job is not easy. There are repairs and new projects that need financing. There are legal and social issues that need to be understood. There are also technology and servicing issues that your residents want to be improved. Why not choose a bank that knows this business backward and forward? Why not have a local banker who will meet with you face-to-face whenever it is convenient for you or your board? Center State Bank has over 2,000 associations as customers for a reason. Please give us a chance to earn your business. Call Terry Russo at 954-633-1666 to make it happen. Center State Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC.
All over the world, people have plumbing problems. These problems can be expensive and destructive to fix. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to take care of your plumbing problems without destruction and an outrageous price tag? Welcome to Pipelining Technologies, Inc., where we specialize in fixing your problems without demolition and minimum cutting by means of pipelining. Pipelining is the ability to take a pipe damaged by root intrusion or long-term deterioration and make it new. By means of inserting an epoxy-saturated liner into the pipe and allowing it to harden or cure, leaving behind a brand new pipe.
That sounds great. How can I get pipelining in my home, commercial building, or condominium?
Simply fill out our online contact form and a pipelining representative will get in touch with you in a timely fashion. Or call us directly at 561-853-5463.
Wow. Welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs here on 850 WFTL. This hour flies by. Ooh, don't wait till the very end of the show to give us a call. Eric Glazer specializes in community association law. If you live in, half the state lives in a community association, and you have a question, whether or not you're on the board or you're just a resident, give us a call, 877-850-8585.
It goes so fast because our listeners are so intelligent.
They
and
are.
It's just so wonderful to be around every Sunday, and I mean that. Okay, let's go to the chat box quick. Well, John writes in, what would be the liability of the condo if a dog bites someone? How much insurance should a dog owner carry? Okay, generally, the only way the condo becomes liable for a dog bite is if the condo knows that that dog could be potentially dangerous, meaning that that dog has bit somebody before, attacked another animal,
acted
and
aggressively.
they didn't do anything about it. They didn't do anything to keep the dog restrained or kicked out of the property. Then, yes, absolutely, the condo could be negligent because they knew the dog was a problem, did nothing about it, and then they can get sued. And yeah, dog bite, it depends what kind of injury that the person sustains. Some dog bite cases can be easily 6 figures if it results in
Really?
permanent. Oh, easily. Yeah, I represented a child, I remember.
Oh, my
many
gosh.
years ago. I believe it was a 6-figure claim. And, yeah, because it can result in permanent scarring.
Right.
It can result, dog bites deep enough, muscle loss, all
Oh.
kinds of things. So, yeah, condos should be really careful. And a homeowner, too, should make
Yeah.
sure that you have insurance in the house. Should someone walk into your house and get bit by your dog. Sam counters that with Florida passed a law a few years ago that gave emotional support animals the same rights as service animals. And that's very true in terms of where that emotional support animal can go.
Which I was surprised to learn.
Absolutely. That emotional support animal, believe it or not, can even go onto the pool deck,
right,
but not in the water.
It can go anywhere the person who's getting the emotional support goes.
Correct. So, okay, how about we go this? Let's go to back to the phones. Eric and Davey. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Eric, it's Eric. How are you?
Good morning. What's going on?
Oh, there's always something going on. It's drama in the condos. Well, you've answered two questions real quick. You clarified the dates on the budget requirements for the 100%. I thought that was going to be next year.
2025, January 1st, 2025. Yeah. People have one more year to breathe.
Okay, good. One more year for everyone to sell.
But Eric, right,
So,
exactly. But Eric, let me ask you this: what's wrong with maybe easing people into it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look, you know.
The biggest thing is, your program is what I'm trying to get it out to I want the homeowners to watch the show,
right?
Because we walk and talk. 3 people show up to a meeting out of 200 owners,
right?
And it's always the same people, and that's it.
Now, I will disclose on this phone call, I am counsel for Eric's community, right? But I will tell Eric, you know what a lot of communities are doing. A lot of communities are saying, "Hey, attorney, either come over here and teach us the new laws, or stay in your office, do a Zoom meeting with us." Just teaching the new laws. So I think it's important, quite frankly. I really do.
Yeah, I brought up the meeting at the meeting that we needed to draft a letter of an educational letter of what's coming in the future, what people should expect.
Yep.
Good.
Of course, clarify it with you and get it put out.
Yeah, I
But
can do
also
that with
think
anybody,
people
as a matter of
start
fact.
watching this.
You can?
I prepared a summary.
Oh,
and kind of like
nice.
a flow chart of what you got to do. So anybody who wants that, just
Is it on your
it's
your
not. Just send me an email, eric@condo-laws.com. I'll be glad to send it to anybody who wants it. You know,
Would never know that email address. I had another question, but you answered in the show. My next question is: we had budgetary monies for maintenance personnel that we never filled. Okay, which was done by guess who? And a lot of sweat equity, climbing in roofs and doing all the work of the property. So we probably saved $65,000.
Yeah.
Which of course I want to keep in the bank. And every time I hear that, we have to roll it over to keep the money down the following year. Why can we not start building coffers in our operational accounts?
Well, you could again put it in the budget for next year and call it maintenance personnel. You can do that if the board is willing to say, okay, we're going to hire maintenance personnel this year. If not,
no, but we have money left over from this year,
right?
Because I did the work and we did it for free, of course.
Right.
And we saved all this money.
Right. So the money that you saved is now called common surplus. So what do you do with common surplus? Common surplus, there's only 2 ways to treat it. You're going to roll it over into next year's budget. So now you have to collect $65,000 less from the unit owners, right?
That's what they've been doing for 40 years. That's why we're broke.
Right. Or apply it towards future assessments. But there's nothing, and I have this argument so many times a year. Somebody show me something in the condo statute that says you can take that extra money and put it into reserves or something. There is nothing in the condo statute that would allow that, in my opinion. I can tell you, I verified that. I verified that with one of the accountant sponsors of our show, who I would consider the top expert in the entire state.
Well, that's where it needs to be.
And that's it's either given back to everybody, rolled over, applied towards future assessments. It's common surplus. That's the way I see it, Eric.
Okay, what is common surplus?
Common surplus is monies that are left over after the bills are paid, and that belong now to everybody.
Okay, so it doesn't have to apply to what it was initially needed for.
Again, we're multi-condo.
Yep.
So that's all by percentages, which is perfect. Because, of course, I know you said we discussed how we commingling money and we should have 10 accounts, and we do only have 2 accounts, and our accountant splits things up. And we have done, and we're doing, and we're trying to clear it.
Yeah.
I can't control what's been done for 40 years.
Yeah.
We have it a section that's negative.
Why didn't they pay
you know what,
since you
Eric?
didn't-
If you don't mind, we're running slow. But I do want to educate everybody on what you just said, buddy.
Do your thing, absolutely.
Thank you so
very
much.
But
Okay, you be well.
You answered the question, and we can have common, whatever that was.
Common surplus. Yes.
finance.
So you know what Eric's
Common
referring
surplus,
to?
thank you.
You got it. Be well. Hey, so Eric lives in
All right,
a
thank you for that. You're
in a
wonderful. Do the
multi.
best. Do the
Thanks,
best. Wear
Eric.
it down, buddy.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, bye.
Eric lives in a multi condominium. So what's a multi condominium? Let's just picture it in your mind. There's several different buildings. Each building has their own set of documents. Each building has their own declaration of condominium. But there's one association. There's one condo association managing all. Now, every one of those buildings need to have its own separate budget, its own separate income, its own separate expenses, its own separate waiver of reserves, etc. Now, the problem is, and I say this respectfully to management companies are like, wait a minute, I don't want to have 10 different bank accounts for 10 different buildings, 10 different operating and 10 different reserves. So what we'll do is we'll commingle every building's money, and we'll just keep track on paper as to how much each building has in the bank. And that never, ever works. You know why? You know what happens at some point? Some buildings start running in the red. So think about that. How is it possible that a condo building is running in the red? That means that the other buildings are laying out the expenses for that building that's in the red.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, I know it sounds complicated, but if you're in a multi-condominium, I can't over-suggest this. Separate bank accounts for each building, for each condominium. That's the only way it works, and you just solve so many problems in advance by having those separate bank accounts. All right, got to keep going. How about we go to Greg in Orlando? How are you, Greg?
Doing fine.
How can we help, buddy?
Hey, my question is, with the slow reaction time that is typical of Florida legislation, how long is it going to be before the two-story condos are going to be affected with some similar type of laws?
I don't know if it's going to be 2 stories, or less than that anymore. I really don't, at least for now. Put your money in 2-story condominiums or townhomes, quite frankly. But I will tell you what's totally strange. And I was with Brian, my office manager, the other day, and we're stopped at a stoplight, right? We're driving. On the right-hand side, right, of the street, there were 4-story, it's a true story, 100%, 4-story condominiums. On the left-hand side of the street were 4-story rental communities, right? Same, exactly look-alike buildings, basically. Just that the building on the right is going to be subject to all these mandatory inspections and reserves, etc. The building on the left, which is exactly built the same, but it's rentals, how come they're not subject to any of those building requirements? Kind of strange, right? So what I do see.
Are you saying that those rentals were apartments or?
They're apartments, right? Right, rental apartments, correct. Looks the same exact as the condo building, except they're rental communities. Now, why aren't they subject to the same laws if their 3 stories are higher? So what do I see? I do see that rental communities are probably going to be subject to the same rules as condos will, but I don't see the requirements going down from 3 stories. So I hope that answers your question. I think for the time being, if you're in 2 stories or less, you are in good shape.
Good.
Greg, thanks for the call. How about we go to Mark in Pompano?
Hey, Mark.
Hello?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing,
Okay.
Karen?
Good.
I want to thank you for everything you're doing. I've been listening to your show for quite a few years.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
I live in a 2-story condo.
Good
and
for
I've been
you.
trying to get people to listen to your show. Yeah. God, I guess if we can thank God for our blessings.
Thank you. Listen, sometimes people don't want to hear what they need to hear.
Yeah,
you know what I
they
mean?
don't.
They're just scared of it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I tell you, it was relief to me because I learned from listening to your show that it's 3 stories and above.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get people in my community to listen to your show. And I have had a couple people that have given me a thumbs up on our Facebook page.
Great.
So, I'm just trying
Thank
to
you.
educate people, and I've mentioned this at our board meetings, our last board meeting, that look, this affects 3 stories and up,
Yep.
and nobody seems to be aware of any of this.
Well, it's scary,
So,
isn't
I'm
it
just
scary?
trying to
And all of a
spread
sudden,
the
it's
word,
going to
you know?
be. It's going to be January 1st, 2025. It's not that far away, as we know.
No.
We're doing this show like 14 years. Believe me, 2 years is not far away at all. And by 2 years from now, you're going to have all your studies done. By 2 years from now, everything has to be done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to creep up on people real fast.
What exactly does have to be done below 3 stories? Anything?
No, you're off the hook. And again, you can continue even waiving reserves if you want to. Pretty lucky if you're in 2 stories. If you're in a townhouse, you're there, period. I think you're staying unless you want to move to a condo with new construction. You know, then
No, we're 2-story condo is what we are.
well,
Oh,
you're
so
in,
you're
you're
good.
in great shape. You got no problems, Mark. Hang
Are you
in
on the
there.
water?
No, we're probably about 2 miles from the water.
All right. Well, we got to take one more call before we call it a day. I really appreciate all the nice things you said about the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
You got it. How about we go to Doc in Boca?
Hey, Doc.
Good morning. Good
Hey.
morning, Karen. Good
Hey.
morning, Eric.
Good morning. What's up?
I live in a condo in West Boca, and I have a problem here. We have a unit owner that's running a business out of her home.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, she is the treasurer of the board.
There
right.
you go.
What do you really quick? When you say she's running a business, what is she doing?
She's doing an oxygen facial and a lymph gland drainage.
Oh,
and
so people
whatnot.
are actually
She's
going
running
to her
this
unit. She
home.
sees customers in her home. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she is.
So that is running a
Driving
business.
up-
I agree. I agree. So what can you
And
do?
She's been doing it for 15 years.
Okay,
I've
well-
written kind of certified return receipt to the board.
30
to
seconds.
the
Okay.
attorney for the board.
All right, we
and
got
to
it.
The
We-
management company. And
Doc?
I didn't get a reasonable reply
Okay.
from nobody.
Doc, we gotta
Yes,
end the show. But an attorney can go in. An attorney for the association can get, can stop her from doing it. No 2 ways about it. The problem is 15 years, maybe a statute of limitations
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
We got to look at that. But in any event, that brings us to the end of another show, the end of another great week. Thanks for the wonderful comments from everybody. Those who are celebrating, have a happy and healthy Rosh Hashanah, a sweet new year. And to everybody else out there, we will see you and speak to you again next week at Sunday, 11 a.m. on Condo, Craze, and HOAs. Everybody have a wonderful,
Thank you
safe
for
week.
taking